All right, let's look to see if this is a valid argument or not. We're going to use a truth table. So I see that we have two different statements, P and Q. And then we've got a whole bunch of like not P, if not P, then not Q. So let's just start with our truth table. This is always how we start with two statements. So true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. Okay, now, so this is the normal setup. We always just start like that with two statements. Now I have a little bit of choices on how I'm going to set this up. The final column though needs to be the argument. Okay, when we put all of this together in one line, it would be if P then, or sorry, if not P then not Q. So it's the first line and the second line. So if those, then we do this final line, therefore not P. So whatever I do, I need to make sure that that's my final column. Not P, then not Q, and Q leads to not P. Okay, now my goal is to see if I have all trues in here, then this would be a valid argument. If there's even one false, then it's not valid. All right, so I am seeing that I have some a not P, so I'm going to give myself that column. I see not Q. I'm going to give myself that column. Then I need a not P leads to not Q. Then I see a not P leads to not Q and Q. All right, so not P. That means I just take my column right here and just change all of the truth values in that column. Okay, so here we go. It was true, so now this was true, right? So now it needs to be false. It was true. Now it needs to be false. It was false. Now it needs to be true. It was false. Now it needs to be true. Okay, so then I do the same thing for my not Q. It was true, so now this is going to be false. It was false, so not Q is going to be true. And we just go through and switch our truth values. So that's our not Q. And it was false, and so now it's going to be true. Good. Now we have to do an if then. So it goes if not P, then, okay, now for an if then, the only time it's false is if we have if true, then false. Then it's false. Okay, so let's look to see if we have any cases where we have a true then false. Here we go. True then false. True, true, false, false. Okay, everything else is true. So this, because it went true to false, that gives us a false in an if then. Everything else gets to be true. True, true, true. Okay, now we need to do our and here. And the truth, or the rule with and is they both have to be true. So I'm seeing true. Oh, hang on. We got to look at our the correct columns. Okay, we need this one. So that's one we just did, and then we need Q. All right, we need both true. So let's see. I have true, true. So this gets to be true. False, true, true. Everything else is false. True. Oops. True, and then everything else is false. Okay, and now we have the arrow. That's our if, then. All right, and we have our if is this first thing, which is this column right here. Okay, so there's my if, and then my then is the not P. So let's see, I'll erase this guy. Not P, where's that one? Right here, okay. So, get ourselves organized. Okay, it goes like this. If, so we have if that whole bracket, then this one. Okay, and that it's only false if we have a true leading to a false. This. Okay, so we can see we have true leading to false. That means that that first row is false. The rest of these are true because I have false and then false. That's a true if then. Every other if then is true. It's only true leading to false that's false. Okay, since there's one false, that means that this is an invalid argument. So you have one false in your argument column, and that last column, that means it's not valid. All right, let's try another one. So in number 15, we need to first translate this and then determine if it's a valid argument or not. And we have these statements. P, he likes baseball. The statement Q is he'll play this weekend. So if he likes baseball, that would be if P, he will not play this weekend. So if P, then not Q. The second statement is he will play this weekend. So that's Q. And therefore, he hates baseball. Well, is hate really the opposite of not liking it? That is more philosophy than math. Okay, but that we're just going to say is not P. So this is actually a form of a contrapositive. So the way that contrapositive works is contrapositive. It goes like this. If P, then Q. Not Q leads to not P. So contrapositives logic goes like this. If one thing leads to another. If you don't have the other thing, then you don't have the first thing. So here, P leads to not Q. Well, we have the opposite of not Q. So we have not Q. And so then that would, by contrapositive, be not the first thing. But let me set up a truth table and I'll show you how this is valid. Okay, so the first part, we always set this first part up the same. And then I'm just getting myself set up so that my final column will be my argument. So I need to have a not Q, a not P in there. I need a P, if P, then not Q. Then I need to have both the arguments, if P, not Q, and Q. And then my final column will be the argument. Okay, so not P, I'm just changing all my truth values here. So it would be false, false, true, true. Right, each of these get flipped. And not Q, just switching each of these out. So this would be false, true, false, true. Now I have an if, then, and it only goes like this. If true, then false, that is false. That's the only case where an if then is false. So those are the ones I look out for, and I have one right here. If, oh wait, I have to look at who's an if and who's a then. So I have if P, then not Q, okay? If, then, so I look at a true leading to a false. I have a true leading to a false, that's false. The rest of them are true. And now I have an and. The rule with and is they have to both be true at the same time. So get rid of my column. Okay, let's see, we've got and. So I need this one and Q. This one. They have to both be true at the same time. True. That doesn't ever happen, right? Because I have true, false, false, true. So these are all false. Okay, and then I have an if then. And if thens are always true unless I start with a true and end with a false. These are all false, so there could never be a case where it was a false if then, because if then has to be if true, then false. So all these guys are true. since there's only truth in that final column, showing that the argument is a valid argument.